Sometimes I wonder why people shy away from discussing sex or even talking about it. And in relationships, most times when you go to places where marital issues are settled, you discover that nobody really knows the cause of the problem between couples except the couples themselves. And informally, you come to realize that something led to, they'll keep telling stories, one funny story or the other. But there was something that caused the problem that eventually became a very big issue. And today we decided to come out and talk about that thing, that fundamental problem that has taken away the shine from many homes. I tell you, many homes are in devastated situations today because of that three-letter word, which many people feel is indispensable for any smooth relationship. Yes. We are going to talk about sex in marriage. A lot of things are involved. And we tactically decided to talk about sex in marriage. We're not talking about premarital sex because everyone knows that when a couple come together as husband and wife, they have the license to have sex. So, no one is talking about the moral aspect of it in this regard. They have every authority, they have the right to have sex at any time, anywhere. I got two wonderful people to look at this and discuss it. These people have all it takes to authoritatively talk sex in marriage because by virtue of being married. So we're going to veer off the medical aspects and implications or the health implications of sex in marriage. We're going to talk about the social, cultural aspects of marriage and maybe the harm on the benefits and all that, there is to sex in marriage. This is Infinite One TV, one stop TV where you get all you need to spice up your life. I am CHIKA, KENNETH. We don't need to start talking about the meaning of sex. We all know what sex means. We don't need also to start how it happens, where it happens, when it happens. Some people think it should not be premeditated, that it's better, it comes automatically. I don't know. So maybe I'll start with you, Prince. Sex in marriage. These people are married. Does it need to have a particular routine, spelled out way of doing it whenever?
Well, I thought you said ladies first, but all the same, the horn is not mighty for the cow that must bear it.
Yeah.
So whichever way it is, it's like a coin that has two sides. You can flip whichever side you would prefer. And like sex itself too, no amount of awareness or consciousness can deny involuntary actions, because this thing comes involuntary. You may not know when it hits you, so it can hit you anywhere, and it's yours because you're married. Your spouse is a part of you. It's just like two that became one. It's the ingredients of that marriage is very, very important, very vital.
Okay, so you said you can't do without it in marriage. Do you buy into that, CHIOMA?
Obviously, I'll go in. Sex, as it were, I want to believe that you can't always plan it. Even though sometimes you plan it, but sometimes it just comes on its own, depending on the mood. Because we have hormone flowing in our bodies, and sometimes they change. So I believe, sometimes it is planned. The other times they just happen.
But is it true? I'm asking you now. Men want sex more than ladies in marriages.
Well, there's a popular saying like that men, they love their sex because they are moved by what they see. So I'm not
No, you shouldn't be the one to answer this. But I want you to affirm.
I'm not a man.
Yes, the guy should let us know why. But do you believe that?
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
It's a popular saying.
From experience, you can tell us from experience. Maybe from the experience you have at home. Are you the one to make the move, or does your husband always make the move first?
Well, it depends. everything always depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes he does. Because I'm human. Sometimes I have blood flowing in me.
A lot of women won't do what you just said.
Yeah, some people don't. And you see men coming out to complain.
Really?
Some men would want their women to make advances, and they are not. They are not making the advances. So I've seen men complaining. I'm always the one reaching out to my wife. Why can't my wife ask for it? Even when she feels like, I don't know what to call it, if it's shyness, if it's being conservative or reserved, I don't know. Sometimes religion also has a role to play in it. But some of us are so religious that we don't want to express ourselves, what we feel. But these things are there. God that gave us sex. He's an all-knowing God. He knows the deep importance of sex in marriage relationship, actually. So I don't buy to the idea that it must be the man making the advances. A woman should also have a free flowing whatever to ask for it if she feels like.
Okay.
That's my school of
Magic,
thought.
so many people believe that when women make the first advances, that their husbands will see them as wayward, or like asking for too much, or that it's not a woman's place to do that, and they begin to read meanings that read meanings into things that really don't exist. As a man, what would be your impression if your spouse always makes the move to have sex with you?
Different strokes for different folks. Yeah. The society has not been fair to marriage. Certain in terms of culture, because our culture is our way of life.
Yeah.
The black culture.
Sure.
Especially the one called religion. Religion is the greatest enemy of harmonious marital existentialism.
Talk on that.
Fine. If you're a Christian or even a Muslim, take for instance Muslims, you are expected as a lady to cover yourself all through so that you don't get seductive.
Yeah.
Christians, if you're a lady, you're not even expected to mention the three-lettered word, sex. I give you an instance. I have a friend who got separated from her husband and is seeking divorce, hoping that after she's got kids already. And one day recently, the family came around and they were just discussing. She said she will love to remarry when she gets this through, that she wants to remarry. She wants to stay married. He said, why are you doing? You left this one and want to marry again. Maybe we felt you needed that independence and freedom to be alone since you already have kids. She said that she wants to be having sex on regular basis, that she wants to have sex daily. Do you know, this was like sacrilege. This sounded like a taboo. In fact, everybody, they know her as a church girl, a highly religious girl. They've heard what they never thought of her. And that was the reality. And I began to saw that as part of the things that crashed the marriage.
Obviously.
She was married to a man she said sometimes she want to be on top. This is a man that believes that the man must be on top. A chauvinist, a romantic chauvinist. That is the man's duty to be on top. Is the man's duty to request for sex, not the lady. So once the lady shows that she's under heat or whatever, she's committed an atrocity or she's a slut. So that's, the man will get tuned up in the moment she says, I want, makes the advance, and maybe wants the cowgirl. He wants the cowgirl. So the man is a missionary.
Kind of man.
So, prefers the missionary. So it goes back to say, we need reorientation. Unfortunately, people that maybe have cross-pollination of relationships, exposure, go outside, travel vastly, don't reflect it. They don't come back home and maybe as chiefs, traditional rulers or whatever, call on the people and educate them and tell them this everything about sex has to be open in a family, even to the children, to prepare them, because the girl child will end up being a mother tomorrow. Prepare the girl child to know that no matter the grievance, this is what you will not, should not, must not deny your husband when you get married.
Okay, but then you don't start it at childhood. I think there's a time such information or knowledge should be imparted on the child. Now, I belong to the school of thought, that relates that sex, in as much as it should be freely discussed among adults and married people, should also be respected. It's not something that I wouldn't know because
actually, let me come in here. I would want to believe that there's something they call age-appropriate sex education, according to the age of the child. At year 1, there are certain things a child should know about her body, his or her body. You should know this. At age 5, there are certain things a child should also know. Okay, this is my vagina, this is my penis, and it's mine. It's a personal thing to me. Nobody should touch it. So, sex education, there is no appropriate time to start it. You start it as soon as the child is better, but apply age-appropriate sex education
at each point in time. Okay, I want to refer to something Magic said. Magic, you spoke about romantic chauvinism. Now let's talk about having a partner. Some people just get married without knowing their partners. They just meet them, they get married. Now you wouldn't know the sexual capacity or behavior or likes and dislikes of your partner. You go into a relationship and you discover that this guy is super active, is sexually very, very active, and the other person is not so active. Such relationships, how do you really manage, to bring them to a balance?
Thank you. When I talked about the black culture, that the society has not been fair, I wouldn't know, I stand to be corrected, I wouldn't know how instructive this is, but I witnessed it. So, because I'm going to mention even the community and clan. In 2007, a friend of mine went to a community in Enugu. I think it's Urope or whatever they're called, to get married.
That's my vision.
Thank you. So when he went, maybe paid the dowry or whatever, the girl was allowed to go with him and stay for a number of weeks or days or whatever, with the expectation that at the end, the guy will buy some things and bring her back.
That's the culture.
And bring her back. And when she comes back, elderly women will hijack her, take her to a room and ask her questions. So, because what I witnessed was, when the guy was coming back, he called me that he's now returning, going to the in-laws place. So we all joined. I waited for him at Aroma, and we all joined the convoy. That's my bosom friend. Everybody knows. So we went there. Immediately we dropped with the boxes and everything. Those old, very elderly women, picked the girl, went inside, and they stayed for a long while. So we didn't know what happened. When we now got back to occur that evening. So that's why I said that I might not be talking authoritatively, that it might not be very instructive what I'm saying, but whether she was joking or it was a fact. So when we asked her what happened when they took you inside, she said that when she was leaving,
the husband's place,
when their place to join the suitor who now came to Abuja, that she was warned by those elderly women to look critically at everything, every move about the man, different from what she did initially as they met. Now she has to go back and check whether the man's size is hers, whether the performance was done under an influence of drug, whether the man is capable of satisfying her sexually, whether the man's dick is, sizable to what she wants, turgidity, whether there's erectile malfunction, all those, to find out if he's a real man. Because they know that it is the bedrock of every
marriage. Actually.
So that when she now came back, that we're not asking her, if is on the square, if square size, they ask all those questions. Because she was just like, this was why they took me inside, and to her it was very funny, and it was the key thing.
Okay. Yes.
The key thing, if every community family should do this, before the girl says I do. Because why I gave this before I answered the question about being grounded, some sort of courtship, mini or major, you need to know the sexual history of your partner, the person you're going into relationship with. There's this song Destiny's Child did. Say my name, say my name. You ladies, I'm not addressing you, both of you. You ladies are very smart. You're smarter than us. You always know how to outsmart us. You've now come up with this baby. Everybody say baby. Yes. Everybody say baby.
You guys are not rejecting it.
No, hold on. It doesn't trip me. I don't, when you call me baby.
That is being romantic.
Hold on. Let me drop. When we're having sex and as my wife or partner, you call me baby, I will object. Because like I said, that involuntary action, you wouldn't know when you call the name. So call me by my name.
Really? Are you serious?
Hold on. If it's magic, say magic. So that the day you say Joe, thinking you are with Joe, I will know.
Okay, I don't know where it's coming from.
You see? So because
everybody's as baby. Okay. You're talking about people who are prone to be unfaithful.
Yes.
Actually, you see, the essence of this outing, we're talking about the place of sex in marriage.
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out areas where people should make amends, to keep their marriages on. Before now, I asked about the person making the first advance, and we said different strokes for different folks. Now let's talk about the frequency of sex. How often? Because how often should couples meet? Should there be considerations? And do you think, maybe too many questions at the same time?
They're all okay.
Yes, and maybe you take turns to provide answers. But Chuma, how often do you think couples should have sex? Maybe every week.
Well,
healthy couples.
I would think that there's no calendar and there's no formula as to when a couple should have sex. It depends on whatever rocks their boat. It depends on what works for them. as a lot of some people are closely knitted, there are couples that are closer to themselves than the other couple. And those ones who are closer, they tend to meet always. Because if you're very close to someone, you're attached emotionally, psychologically, physically to that person. Everything that person does is a love language to you. Ordinary body-to-body touch might actually turn you on. So yes, I feel the closeness of the couple matters. If they're very close, they tend to make love, to have sex every time it's convenient for them, provided there's no one is sick or they're not praying, because they themselves will map out their considerations themselves. So, but for those who are not too close, they are just married, that one, there's no calendar to that. It's still what works for them when they feel like. Sometimes the man might be in the mood, the lady is not feeling like having it. So it depends on the man to now
Consider the lady.
if he wants, or
The lady
make
consider
her,
the man.
make her to be in the mood. Yeah, because both, even when they are too close, two of them are not always in the mood. Sometimes a man might be having a bad day, and the woman is all funny, coming around and flipping tails and everything. But the man is, but due to that attachment, there's a way you look at or talk to the man or touch him, he will feel like it. So it all depends on what works for the family. I don't think there's a formula. It should always be when you feel like. God didn't say, have sex in the morning, don't have it in the night. Have in the afternoon, don't have it. They can do it anyway. I've seen couples kissing in the car, kissing on the road, fondling themselves. It's their thing. So, but that's exactly what I feel. Okay,
yeah, I think but the point is, most people, incompatibility has a role to play there in denying your partner. Incompatibility in the sense that you met, this person is either incorrigible or finds it difficult to apologize, to say the simple word, I'm sorry, to find reason to maybe pacify the partner when he or she feels bad. Those things, I keep saying it, the foundation of your relationship. I might have come in here and saw the way you were dressed, the way you look, and highly romantic, how it is to me. And I say, I want either of you because of the way you look today, your smiles, your dress sense, and we start a relationship, may end up getting married.
Okay.
The moment you have one kid or so, you switch the attention to the baby. And most of the times, assuming I'm a cologne freak,
Okay.
maybe I love the fragrance of your cologne when I got closer to you. And
Okay.
so now, after bathing the baby, you carry that PS baby fragrance and come, or you cook after cooking. All these people, onions, onion, and now you no longer dress, no bomb shot, no lingerie. You no longer dress all those ways to attract me. You find out that those things that make my hair stand on its end will disappear. I can't even steal a kiss anymore. Even if the children are there, I can steal a kiss. Now, if I come to you and say, I want you to be wearing this, you say, in front of the kids, that will put a man off.
But is it right? Is it right?
It's not. That's what I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is, earlier we spoke about sex education, appropriate sex education at various ages. Stealing a kiss in front of kids?
Not in their presence. Okay, I said you steal it. If you're kissing in their presence, you're no longer stealing it. If you're kissing in their presence.
Do that.
No, but what I'm saying, if you're kissing in their presence, you're no longer stealing it. You dare not. Are you mad? Right? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
No. You steal it maybe They are not there. You just put, let me tell you something. You get close to the kitchen, she said, naughty you, From there, you say, go get me this in a room. From there, you follow her and you start there. It mustn't be in the presence of the kids. You don't even watch, I've seen movies that are X-rated, maybe a bit above or their age. Listen, so they're all rated. So it goes a long way to help. Most people, once they are married, they start maybe adoring a pastor instead of God or Jesus. They now call him daddy, general overseer, all those, what they should call their husbands. They address the priest or the reverend or the clergy. If you see people who can't serve their husbands well, it starts anywhere from good food, from the delicacy, how delicious it is, the man, little things like you said, what we see, trippers, the same way what you hear, sweep you off your feet. The raps we flow, the things we say, deal blows on you because you love power. Then the things we see, the coughs, those come to get us melting. Yeah. So those little things, maybe your eyes, what you say, the way you do it, they're no longer there. Because in the morning, the pastor has given her prayer portion. In the afternoon, she's been given fasting. In the evening, she's going for fellowship. No, but it's true. She comes back home, the man touches her, and she says, no, she's doing her prayer. She's not carrying the man along. It's not something both of them are doing together. They are not talking to God together.
No, let me ask you.
I'm only giving an instance. Some families like that.
In the Bible says you can abstain when the both of you guys are in agreement.
Even apart from being in agreement, even if you are praying, maybe your husband doesn't, the kind of husband you have, doesn't go to church, and you are praying, you are giving a fast to observe by your pastor. Should it stop you? You're married to this man. Should it stop you from
It's not a sin.
Is it a sin?
In matrimony, sex is not a sin.
Like giving the excuse that you are praying. Is it enough to deny your husband
But
sex?
people do it.
They do it. That's what I'm trying to say. The bonding dies. Because this thing, do you know why Igbos call it Ifena Wike Jesuike? Even when a man is tired.
Are you serious?
Even when a man is tired, this sex. Go to the Bible. After creation, God made man in his own image and gave him dominion over. It was Adam that named every other creature, both the animals, and looked after them. But when he will be watching those EMEKA, the animals, have sex, and he will be all alone, no partner. God felt that it was not good for man to be alone. Made him sleep. He dozed off. And from his body, God performed the first surgical operation. Did that. That's when why you see general anesthesia today. You sleep before they operate on you. Because God was the first surgeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, God was the first surgeon. Look at it that way. Think of it.
Oh
yes.
My God, you're right.
He made Adam. Yes. He made Adam sleep. And removed a rib from him. Yeah. And created Eve. Yeah, and now before he woke up. So medically, they give you anesthesia, you sleep, and they perform the surgery, and you come back, you are whole and entire. You understand? So when Adam woke up, if you remember in the Bible, he saw Eve. Eve was the only thing God created and admired, so the Bible said. Admired his work.
Admire Adam.
No, he created Adam in his own image.
Okay.
But when he created Eve, when he made Eve, he admired. That's our conscious
Well, this is deep.
That's what,
you know why? That is why God is passionate about women.
Yes.
Because we are co-creators with God.
That's why we describe women as pretty piece of God's superlative craftsmanship. So God was still admiring what he created when this Mumu Adam woke up. Invariably, as new, invariably, Eve at Ebugala ala dokasia, okwala levie. Adam, woke up. So,
nobody told him.
No, when he woke up, if the Bible didn't say it, it's likely no. Otetego, Jokwasia Yosbo, Kobia Imago, Kobia Kwanyosbo, Ojuenezaya, and now saw that God was still admiring what he created, maybe watching him. He felt that guilt is the first off point, OP in the world. It was the first one in the Bible by Adam. When he woke up, nobody asked him anything. He said, "This is bone of my bone, flesh of my bone." Invariably, he has broken torn the tissue now. All the one got the flesh, crack that little bone. What's not bone of another other bone of my bone and flesh of my. Why? It can be another. Why? Maybe he thought God was watching this thing you have done.
I was trying to be defensive.
Thank you. Guilt. The first hope became so. From that first time, that might have been why God called him alone, and said to him, "Stay away from this thing."
No. If God had called him and told him to stay away, alone. Mm-hmm. But then God instituted marriage.
Get what I'm saying? God had brought Eve. Yeah. Invariably, if they listen to God, if they didn't disobey, maybe there's an age you will attain. God will give you your own from your rib. Maybe you would have answered. Maybe it would have been so. Yeah. You get my point. Maybe
we're very wrong.
Yes. No. I'm trying to talk about sex. Why the importance? Because in spite of the fact that God, the closeness they shared, Adam and God before Eve came. Yeah. In spite of the fact that they shared this closeness, and he was given this directive: don't go there, don't go there, and expecting what communication in a family. You can give sign, and once your body, you communicate, it will go. It will just flow. You start hammering. Yeah. He didn't tell Eve, the wife, that communication. This is what I've been told, not to do this. So when Eve went and well, you can't pull back somebody that has tested sweetness. Like that. So
you don't quantify the kind of sweetness.
Yes, you don't. So when she had it, she pulled Adam to continuously. Adam now started staying away from God. That closeness. That was Eve. He answered your question, because if they did it just once, it wouldn't have led to each other Adam Acho. No, the frequency. Like a submarine in the Gulf.
So, there's something, you see, like when we took off, I made mention of people who always disagree. I was watching a video on Facebook the other day. These people, the husband always beats the wife. I mean, she was complaining of how often the husband beats her. Yet they had kids, So the person she was complaining was asking her, so after beating you will still allow him sleep with you? I want to find out couple who always disagree. How do this sex, the sweetness of sex and the memories that should linger after that, why does it not deter them? Men who beat their wives from doing that?
I don't want to believe that it will deter them, because currently it will not. I want to believe that when you said always would actually be relative.
I'll know that my question was clear enough.
Those couples that always quarrel, or if most of the times even the wife will pack and go, a wife batter, even the woman might be the one battering the man. They are always violating each other openly and privately. You find out they settle with sex.
That's what I wanted to say.
Because even in the heat of it, even some couples, when they are fighting, the woman's wrapper will drop. if it drops, if the man, because no man hates the wife.
Yeah.
Every man has chosen from myriads of girls and approached, at least in this part of the world, unlike India, where women go for men to marry them, to seek their hands. Suitors here are male in this part of the world. So a man will leave multitudes of girls and go for one and pass through the rigors, whatever the kingsmen, the community, the clan, they demand, and he will do them. Whatever they make him pass to, he will tolerate and go for that priceless gift that he wants and brings her home as his own. I posted something recently on social media. If sex is not love, why is cheating a problem?
Yes, I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes, I was wondering.
yes, I think sex is a love.
Yes, you know, it is. So you see, each time, even as they are fighting, what they use to make up is this sex.
Why does it not last? That is my question. Why does that love, that sex love, why does it not last? Because you see a man make love to the wife this night, the next morning, he's beating her.
I think it has to do with the behavior, the character of the man. It doesn't have to do with the sex itself. It has to, some people can't really tolerate some to certain level. It has to do with, I think, inner abilities of the man, probably not to the man or the woman, probably not to overlook, because we all have flaws, we have faults. If you can't tolerate your partner, then I wonder what you do with the person.
You see, in the frenzy of love making, you seem to like whatever the person must have done at that moment, you forgive. If the person appears to be the best thing God has created, and then the next morning, why I'm wondering this is, you see, repeated beatings, does it mean that every day you quarrel, you settle with sex? That kind of sex, is it the kind of sex that should be practiced in marriage? Is it the kind of sex we're talking about that should be sustained in marriages? Because when you are beaten, you won't even have the urge to make love again.
Go and touch that man that is beating the wife and see the wife's reaction. Go and touch that man. A fortnight ago, the Madam Commissioner for Women and Social Welfare, if you have been able, arrested a man. I read the news, the story was that they arrested a man who was beating a girl, and discovered when they handed the man, either wanted to hand the man over to the police, they discovered he was just a partner, not yet legally married to the lady. But when they wanted to hand the man over to the police, the lady started begging, pleading that they should leave him, that they will make better family, that they will be better. And the news ended that she admonished them to be good couple. And they went back and they won the couple and left them. So they were married. But maybe he had not paid dowry or whatever. But they agreed mutually. They were mutually having sex. Because I think the lady was pregnant also, or an expectant mother or a nursing mother. I read. Sex is very strong. Very, very, very useful. Go and check it. Any partner that is denying the other sex is either having it outside.
Yeah.
Some ladies sometimes, because we said what you hear, it trips you. Sometimes the ladies will see a man eulogizing, flattering them, expressing love for their beauty. You're very beautiful, others. And they get carried away. Men don't always speak from the mouth. 90% of what we say come from the dick. We don't always speak from the mouth. Because once you see,
it fizzles out.
Thank you. So just to get in there, just to explore. Most men just want to explore. Or some have thrown a bet, I must have this person. And he does everything to her. So once that lady is confused and deceived, she gets home, either tired from the one she has had outside, or her mind focused on the one outside. She starts denying the owner, the husband, the sex.
I think we should know more on this.
Yes.
Because I was coming to ask.
Yes.
Couples, or if a spouse denies the other spouse sex, let's assume in a home you've not had sex for 1-2 weeks, and it is believed that this is, you've been doing this over time, and nature has really conditioned you to continue doing it. Does it mean that, does it send the signal that the spouse who is always denying the other sex gets satisfaction elsewhere?
Yes, let me talk like as a man I am, and I not talk for ladies, because that's why you're here. Men love sex, because with this, I'll answer the question you once asked. Men and women who love sex the most also. Men love sex and have the urge to have sex more than women, but women enjoy sex more than men.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because one is, it's not just hitting, thrusting. There are there's foreplay, there are preparations, there are things you do that will trip the lady. You know, some women just get pissed off because the man just comes, pounces on them, and maybe they don't want, and the man is already rock solid. He pounces on the lady and penetrates, 6 penetration. The lady is dry, not wet, nothing. How did cunnilingus and fellatio come up? It's because the lady, you find a way of getting her wet. Either from, when love is there, when she looks into your eyes, she gets wet, the same way a man looks into the lady's eye and gets hard. But ladies, I don't know, like I said, maybe if your mind is somewhere else, no matter what the man does, she doesn't get wet. There are some ladies who have conditioned their minds that their man must always give them money after sex, or they only give sex when they want to demand money from their husband. These people are official pay as you go, so they can never forgive you if you just have them without money. During COVID, you remember what happened during COVID? Ladies were, in fact, complaining, demonstrating, because there was this lockdown, and the man was having them at will anytime, 20 times a day. That's when you would have seen that the frequency is 100% high. There's no limit to it. There is no timetable, no calendar. It's just there. People were just having, because you're just there, you're looking at the person, you finish, within a short period, you regain your strength, you want to go again.
What about situations where the partner, like I've asked this before, where the partner is not as active as the other, is there no need for consideration?
You start training, one will get used to it. Either the other one considers to step down, or the other one learns and upgrades.
Yeah, I think the both has to, both of them will have to consider, if you're the one who is more active, you have to carry the other person along according to his or her pace. You're trying to understand. Then the one who is a learner should also learn. The one who is teaching should teach well, so that the both of them will come to a consensus where, okay, we are this level. We've been able to understand ourselves, and we are now operating on this level, so that when the man makes advances, you will know. But I think there are also other factors that affect sex in marriage, like financial strain. I believe when there are a lot of bills to pay, a lot of commitments, a lot of I need this, I need that. You're staring in the face and you're seeing a lot of things you have to do.
There will be no urge.
There will be no urge. Even when you want to do it, you find out that those things will occupy your mind and you're trying to find
a lady
a
or
way.
as a man?
Both. Because if you guys are working together.
I can't tell us whether as a man, you don't feel it.
No, that's what, I wanted to talk as a man, but I just veered off and brought them. That's the one that said, yes, I was trying to say that as a man. Men love sex. That's where I dropped before there. Men love sex. A man can have it 1 million times as long as he's healthy and has money, cash, and peace of mind. Once your problem is more than your income or available cash, you lose erection. You flatten. So that time, that is where the power of the strength of a woman gets to play. That's where the salacious nature of your woman will be put to test. Because the salacity is meant to challenge your manhood at all times.
Okay.
That is when a woman that understands bonding plays a role here. A woman that understands the husband, once he comes back and he's moody, you will know things are not well. You go get if he's a person, a man tripped by legs, you go put on your bombshell or whatever. If it's the book, anything or the smiles, you come and do the magic. Come to him, you pet him. But like I said, once the kids come in, you transfer everything back to them. Over to them. No, it's not. It's what I know. I've seen.
Well, it's not just the women transferring.
No, once it comes,
you
just transfer. When you transfer, the baby was a lip service. The baby you call the man is just lip service to cover whatever flaws you may have.
I made a point I think we should address, about a man being in bad spirits or in low spirits, and the woman trying to
you come and pep him up.
Pep him up with sex. But don't you think when the man is low, the woman is likely to be low too? Like she spoke about so many bills to pay, pressure in the house, financial pressure mostly, or even some other social pressures.
That's what I'm saying. Would you now let the pressure kill you? Will you now die of depression? No. I'm trying to tell you why impoverished families have multitude of kids. Don't do family planning.
As in, that's
impoverished homes. Go and see
those ones are
don't
really
have money.
Happy in their,
do you know why
state.
They are still at that level? They are happy. Do you know why they have kids? They don't do family planning. They may have 12, 10, dozens, of kids, because that's the only pleasure they have. No television, no radio, nothing. No, but it's true. No Android phone to look up. You get my point. So they can just all of them are in one room. The other person will be saying, CHIOMA, CHIKA, there are many, all of them on the floor. So he climbs, he finds a way, just get to the bed and they start. That's the only thing they know. Because it gives them joy. That's to tell you how soothing sex is. It's remedial. It's a healing therapy.
Yeah. And so no relationship should do without sex. That is the message you're trying to pass.
Marriage
Let's talk about
when your lady is down, try and do those things that will bring her back.
When a lot of men don't.
I tell you, there was a day I just felt my wife was not feeling very good and she was about going out to work. And I noticed that. So I just got her on the chair and started doing my magic and got her pinned down. And at the end, we had it on the chair.
And you stopped her from going to work?
No. Yes. But when we finished, as I was taking her to work, she was thanking me. Yes, she confessed that her mood changed and everything. You need to read this and know. So vice versa. Females should also do this to their husbands. Religion shouldn't get there.
Yes. Yes, I think we've made that point. Now let's talk about styles. You know, in these days of the internet, people listen to friends, watch movies and stuff. If your wife introduces something she's not used to doing in your sex life, maybe another style of making love, would it make you shudder? Would it make you like get withdrawn? Would you begin to suspect she learned it from elsewhere?
As working now, a man should answer this.
Yes.
Yes. Let me tell you, each time you say this, if you want to face the fact, you take it that the society is not fair to sexual relationships in this part of the globe. And if both of you started, nurturing your relationship and you started from the scratch, your husband or your partner will know your styles, your strength, how crazy you are about sex, what you do. You will no longer be a surprise. Most people keep pretending. Really, I say this thing called religion and culture. Then in church, express yourself. Express yourself. No holds barred. Express yourself. But if you don't do it, if you meet a girl and you're washing her panties from day one, continue till the end. Don't stop. Vice versa. If you meet a guy, be yourself. Be original. At any point in time, teach your girl child to be original when she grows up. Be original so that you don't get the man withdrawn. Who wouldn't feel that way? Let's face it. Initially, you don't. They're touching. No, you don't. You don't express yourself. All of a sudden,
you start expressing.
All of a sudden, you become. You jump. You bring cowgirl. All the while, it's just missionary. She touches you. He touches you. Just relax and be there like a log of wood. Because you are trying to send a message that you are reserved. Either you were even a virgin, some feign, some fake it. They gradually allow a guy that is inexperienced to feel he has deflowered them. It happens. Inexperienced guys, not in Gaborode, not in the Fugo. Because as you're doing it, I'll be playing along with you, just like God did to Adam. When Adam was hiding, forgetting that this is the omnipotent, omniscient that sees everything, God still in his omnipotent and omniscient status asked Adam, where are you? So when you're hiding from God, God will be hiding from you. So when those people that want to pretend bring, they start closing their legs, we will continue lubricating and gradually, when we gain penetration, that you've done it. We say, thank God. We follow along. We flow along. But if you meet a girl who is interested in getting married to a virgin, does it add anything to it? Most people that celebrate today that they got married to virgins are just that were scammed.
Really?
Yeah. Most of the ladies can go and even rob.
You are generalizing them.
Sorry. Anything that gets up to 75% cannot be faulted by law of generalization.
How sure? Do you have the data?
Yes.
Okay, please.
So in that manner, in that manner, once you are yourself, your man knows who he has and will be running home to have you because he wants to explore all those styles, all those.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Don't go and hide it.
When your husband complains that you don't measure up to expectation, won't you go to find out ways of measuring up?
Actually, learning is a continuous process. And learning is a continuous process, and you don't stop. When you stop learning, you start dying. And most of the things I know today, He taught me. Do you understand? So I know that as a single guy, he had his own fair share and luxury of sexual relationships. So he has never complained actually, because what I know today, he taught me.
No, I'm not personalizing
Okay.
this. In situations where the woman does not measure up to what the man's sexual needs, does she need to go find out how to come up? If, like what Magic just said, you will be surprised if a girl comes up with new tactics and styles. So how do you now
Learn it along. You learn it with him.
Or even if you learn,
not away from what the guy knows?
No, that thing, assuming you see it in the social media,
you guys can
bring
learn
it and you share it. Let's just practice this. But you find out that, in Igbo they say hired bicycle motor. Men, if the things you used to impress on a woman, the same thing you will use to get her upset. People who want to impress their ladies go extra miles to do those. But at the end, you say, look at this man, look at this lady, she's rotten, she's this, she's that. Because you have tried, or he's not man enough, because he has tried to preserve what he has. You just look at this. He has tried to preserve what he has. No man wants to rough ride the wife. No man, unless
the woman wants it.
Thank you. Unless they started and he discovered this woman loves rough riding. But by the time you've got into a relationship and got married to a lady who hardly even moves, so you want to be keeping, or you want, it's spending her, what you want to break her, you want to keep to it because this is your prized asset. This is the only wife, your wife, your all and all. But if that lady 2 times, if she has extramarital affair, the other person that is having a quickie, what's not yours? Mechanics, panel beaters, when they drive people's cars, you see, they want to enjoy it all within that minute. You see them the same way. When a man has hired a bicycle, he rides it with such roughness to cover whatever pleasure he needs. Just like one who is paying, who is having you as a mercenary, that maybe a man came around and or has a relationship with him. All this, they get themselves on social media or whatever they knew before. Once he had that opportunity, and maybe he will give you money, or those of them that even mention negotiate before, he wants to cover. That's why most men die. Yes, most men die on top of women. The stingy ones. 10,000. What yes.
What you're saying, what I can make out of it is that.
So what I'm saying, know the test. Somebody that loves the rough riding, but has been pretending to the husband, so that the husband doesn't feel that she has been wild before getting married. Most of them, they are recommended or whatever for somebody. You didn't just meet and flew over, or you just meet somebody when you want to get married. You just meet, I'm set, I'm ripe for marriage. You just get somebody, you can pay down immediately. Wants that marriage or just need equity. So the boyfriend or somebody else will piano with somebody who doesn't even allow doggy, because it's too deep or whatever. And she goes outside and meets a guy that either took drugs or anything to have value for his money all the time. And the guy hits her. When she comes back and you go to do the normal you are missing for her, she will say the husband doesn't even have strength. You piss her off, so she wouldn't even want to have it. So, but a day she loses concentration that it's not that it's you. maybe you get her to a point.
And that's why I don't like that baby thing.
Thank you.
And so that she'll be exact. Whether it's friend.
For Joe. So when you get her to a point that is relative to what she used to get outside, she would open up.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's okay. No,
so the man will be surprised.
We really run out of time.
Okay.
Let's talk about distant relationships. We're talking about sex in marriage. Some couples don't stay together because of work or some other reasons. And when they don't stay together, there's no room for love make.
Yeah.
Does it mean that that it is not a true marriage?
It's actually a true marriage.
Because in this part of the world, most ladies would assume that the man is enjoying himself wherever he is and expects the lady to stay for them. So
that's the norm.
Yeah.
If those abroad, sometimes they marry abroad and they live a normal family life abroad, but they will reserve their wives, and any information that maybe the wife is sleeping with someone else, they will automatically drive the woman home. For me, I feel it depends on understanding. Some people can be far apart, yet they are close. Whatever works for them. I know nothing makes up for sex when two bodies are not together. But then some people can still understand themselves. They can talk on phone, always talk their foul talk on phone, understand themselves. Some can even have sex on phone. So it depends on, though naturally nothing takes the place of sex in marriage. But if they understand themselves, fine. It doesn't mean it's not a real marriage.
It can never be real. It can never be real. Distant relationship is artificial. In today's world, ICT-driven world, where everything today, the urge for sex is at the fortissimo level globally, all over the world. Ladies belong to erotic groups. They belong to WhatsApp, Telegram groups that once you open in the morning, you see dicks being branded, you see makeup, you see different kinds of obscene videos and images. So they belong there. They discuss those. And they are human beings. They are human beings. They are not there. Go and check it. 95% of ladies married to guys that are abroad also, their boyfriends almost live in that house. Or they themselves, they're always in the hotel or at the boyfriend's place. They have timetable, naturally drawn timetable with their husband. Okay. The time he will call them on video. Because the man might be calling them every hour. Like, they just change, even put control on their phone. If you want rain to be dropping, you say, honey, baby, it's raining here, it's raining, I'm rushing home.
What about the artificial sex toys? Is it advisable for distant relationships? In order not to defile one's marriage?
What you train yourself to, such you need to prepare for it. A girl that loves the natural dick can never be satisfied by dildos, not toys. A girl that is very natural. But, it's just mindset to willpower, what you decide. Because I've seen that most of the times, I don't know of ladies, as a man, sometimes if I'm so engaged and then got by some activities, I don't remember sex. And, except maybe my wife, I can see her because if she wants to get me, there are ways. We have only one bed, only one room. Of all the rooms in my bathroom, we have only one together ever since we got married. One.
Whether you're quarreling, whether everything
it's easy to
same bed,
same room. Nobody goes. We've never had a quarrel that any partner went to another room. We have one room, one bed, and we always sleep naked. that's just me. So she learned it also. Maybe, that's hard too. Both of us, we just did for work. So we either inside the duvet or with whichever way. Sometimes, if I am busy and I don't think, there's a way I will see her. If she wants to invite, she will position herself. Maybe I just woke up in the middle of the night to go and pass out urine. On my coming back, what the eye sees, like you said, immediately I see those. So I'll go there. I would never, let me share this personal experience of mine. When I wanted to get married, after marrying my wife, she was to go for youth service. She was pregnant. She was serving in Abuja. I decided to relocate to Abuja gradually, before she would finish. So, before she gave birth to the child, a friend of mine said to me, if you are relocating to Abuja, do it before she gives birth to the child, or bring her back. I said, why? Jokingly, he said, if you're in Awka and she's in Abuja, or you're in Abuja, she's in Awka, and you keep visiting, one day you just come, drop your bag, and go to where you're going. By the time your wife comes back, your child will say, Mommy, that uncle that used to come, visit has come and talk. Because they won't know you again. They won't know you that much. And some other person must be visiting. A must. It's a must. Either his colleague, either a professional colleague, or anything, you always give it name. But it's true. So immediately after that conversation, I'm a highly superstitious man. In that regard, I said, Abuja.
Calm down.
I went and packed everything and we came back. I said, because my reason for wanting her to be in Abuja then was, one, to get proper medication. Ghana, super Ghana. I got Professor Kwempo. Somebody told me Professor Kwempo was super Ghana and was living next to me. And from there, she stayed back. I love sex a lot, so I cannot allow my wife to be somewhere else while I am in another place. Even when I'm upset, just like feeding. And this thing, women should learn when their husband is upset. When your husband is upset, try and find a way to make him eat the same way, whichever food it is.
Yes. I wanted to say something on that.
Yes.
Choma, have you ever been told that when men complain in the villages, you see women and their husbands quarrel, the elders will come and they say, has anyone told you before that it is not the physical food that they are referring to?
Yes.
Have you heard about it? No. Magic, you can explain.
Yes.
Oh, really? I was told yes.
There was, in those coal camp days, when the railway was still functioning, there was this man that worked in the coal camp, in the railway. So, it's a tedious work. So when he comes back, he will be fagged out and spent. And they live in all these batches, So he will come and the wife will say, he was married to an Asaba lady. She will say, he will eat. After eating, he will ease up. At night, the neighbor, this 6-spring Vono iron bed. They will be hitting and making up. The woman will wake him up. Chakante. Chakante, So he came back the other day. She has been tired. She will be waiting when the man will come back. The man said, "Kiali go no see I saw." Yaga law should also be new simple. It's God's food. So it's the major food. It's the major food that, yes. Even when the Bible said, "Man shall not live by bread alone." Get it from?
Now, wow.
Christ said it. Man shall not live by bread alone.
Talk about a particular woman, because you keep wondering, if this woman does not give this man food, let him go and buy food. Or can't he get food from somewhere? The food they need most times is sex.
What a near.
Just hearing this for the first time.
I've had it a number of times from responsible people, not people who just say it for saying something. So I think a woman should also know that apart from the food, when they say the way to the man's stomach is food through his stomach, everybody will think he's full of food. Please, another food which men need all the time is sex. Sex is the food.
Yes.
Every man needs. So that is what every woman should bear in mind.
Any woman denying the husband sex is having it elsewhere.
And any man denying the wife sex is what?
But there's some people that say
any man denying the wife sex is either upset and the woman should go and
you're making excuses.
No, it's either upset or depressed financially.
Okay, yeah.
The woman should go. It's only when the woman had gone to pep him up and you see him sleeping and snoring, then he has had it elsewhere.
And there are also some other health matters
too.
Actually,
the character of a woman or a nagging wife sometimes will piss the man off, put him off. He won't even have erection. When the wife is a nagging wife, the nagging wife is never romantic. And so the husband will not. Okay, you come ordinary food, the one they cook. You know when your husband is supposed to come back home and it's not there. He comes back, he's hungry. Go and prepare food. He will ask the kids or the house help to go and do that, whatever. You get the point. And the man goes out, a side chick, takes care of him better than gives him good food and the other food. And tomorrow you think he will look your way.
But still go to the side chick.
No, he goes out. A woman.
Correct her.
Yes.
The Bible says
the one that
a man should love his wife.
The way Christ loved the church. Yes.
And the love of Christ for us is ever teaching us, even when we stray.
And the wife should do what?
A man should submit. The love comes before submission. Is in loving the wife that your wife submits. The
love that comes before submission is the one that made the man come for the girl.
For the first time.
So you accept that is the submission.
So
once you've accepted.
That's true.
Once you've accepted.
So you will naturally submit.
Yes.
That is expected of you.
I am telling you, there are girls, ladies who insist that the man doesn't bring money. He doesn't bring money. He will not have it.
No.
He doesn't take care of me. He doesn't buy me this. He doesn't
a lot of
pay
people complain.
They complain.
It's true.
If the man has, he will be given. Men that don't have, those that don't have, maybe if the lady is the breadwinner, the man goes through her.
Because it's not a natural order.
Yes, it's not a natural order.
But you still see some. You still see some
who very strong women
who are breadwinners, but they respect their husbands.
Sometimes they even do those things and attribute them to the husband.
Husbands first respect themselves.
Yes.
Men lose their heads when they don't have money.
Exactly.
They
get drowned in their conditions.
Like babies. But when women don't have money, they think better.
The strength.
That's true.
The glamour of power. They say it's not using it. Only men exercise it. When you see the women are arrogant, even when their men are something. You see, you get somewhere. You see a man being dragged by a woman. The woman will be beating. You say, who is this? Na CP wife. Na CP wife. Na this one wife. Na minister wife. Meanwhile, in the process, you might see the minister or CP drive gently and pass without anybody noticing him, without harassment. But you see how the lady will arrogate to herself, she's this and that.
This person.
Have you ever seen
This is
first
a topic
man.
for another day.
Yes, I've never seen a first man,
And
first
from
lady,
all
first
that
lady.
we've spoken about, I think a lot is expected in marriage.
Yes,
For every marriage to really be successful, to work out, sex is a lubricant, to the wheel of a successful marriage.
Sure.
And the two people involved have different roles, they have parts to play, and they should understand this. I think that is the balance.
That's the balance. I read an article that said, I read somewhere, it said, when the bed is constantly shaking, there's peace. Yes, there's peace.
Our fathers, these old people, this thing did not start today. And remember when I said a lot of couples, you see them quarrel. This person will be telling a different story. This person will be telling a different story. You cannot reconcile the real truth. They know the problem is the beds are
not shaking. That's it.
Because when the beds are shaking,
there's peace, there's harmony.
Yes, when the beds are shaking, there will be peace and harmony. But when the beds are not shaking, I mean, the couples are facing.
Ladies are now shaking the bed outside the mall.
No, I think we're talking about
their dress na kazi letter no me. Their dress is now longer than the body of the letter.
No, we're talking about typical
marriage.
Ideal. There's no ideal.
About people cheating.
But there's no ideal marriage. That's why it's the cheating that is affecting the sex in the marriage.
What we've agreed on here is that when everybody plays his or her role well, there'll be no need to go outside. When your wife is
have you told them to be playing?
But do you?
Yes, we are telling us.
Men should play their role. Women should play their role.
Well, we've really had a nice time. Imagine you want us to talk about this tomorrow. And then we'll come back another one. Thank you so much. Lessons. At least you now know that when we talk about food, it's not rice and beans.
Really?
Yes. At least you know it. I've done that for years now.
Really interesting.
And none where submission will go.
Exactly. That was struck a chord. Thank you for that. Yeah, the moment you accept.
Yes. And the first surgery performed by God.
That's why, man.
We are asleep before escape surgery.
So you see that everything doctors do today, they come from Nation.
Infinite One TV, is it? Thank you so very much. We really had a nice time. And I was to get you educated. What we did that. Sex is indispensable in any marriage. If you want that marriage of yours to work out, don't deny your spouse sex. Give it to him or her, however he or she wants it. You're married, you have the license, you have the authority to do it anytime, anywhere, and however.
And don't go and give it outside. Give it to the man. Give it to the man.
And don't give it to another woman.
Yes.
Give it to that wife of yours.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Infinite One TV, bringing you closer to the world.